What's going on, guys? What's cracking? So you saw me there, I unboxed everything. Another big shipment in from Powerhouse Racing. Can't think of enough per usual. So let's go ahead and take a little bit more in-depth look of what we've got here. So it's not a huge haul, but this is a bunch of stuff. Some of it's dress up, some of it's stuff that I actually need for the car, and some stuff I'm just replacing because I took it from his build. So first up, we have these coolant hoses. And if you guys know, if you watch one of my previous videos, I already had to cut these up a little bit to make them fit with my NA water neck. They fit perfect with the twin turbo setup, but with the NA setup, I had to cut the one hose. The top hose, you don't have to do nothing, but this bottom one here, I had to cut a little bit and cut the pipe some. So I went ahead and ordered a new set for Colton because his car wasn't done yet. I asked him if I could rob it for now, and he said, sure, man, go ahead. So it does come with clamps too, which I like that. When I actually put his on, I couldn't find these clamps, which kind of pissed me off because I'm stupid. And if you see there, it says USA. So they come with good clamps and everything on top of it. This is our power steering low side fitting. So this allows infinite adjustment. I'll show you here shortly, but this goes right here into the top of the pump itself. And I'll show you, it has infinite adjustment. The way they came up with it, this is their, I think their third or fourth revision of this fitting, might be even more. But pretty neat little piece. Then we have these shock tower tops. So on my car, I have these also, but they're from a company called Drift Motion, and they're very nice. So if we go over to my car here, which I need to pop the hood, boink, do that. Go over here and pull up on this. Oh my gosh, I hate that it sticks like that. One thing that stinks about those guys there, it almost forces the hood down to open it. But you guys can see here, I have a set of Drift Motion shock tower tops. Now the problem with these is you can see my actual coilover tops, which is fine. But the problem for me is the fact that I don't like the color. Like even for this car, that's like a teal color, doesn't match the blue, and I have a red cover coming and it doesn't match. So it doesn't do me much good. So Powerhouse Racing came up with this little idea to come up with the shock tower tops to replace the factory, but it comes with these little dome pieces too. These I thought were pretty trick. The way it holds in is a little rubber O-ring, and I know a couple people say, well, how do you get it off? You can see here, has a little spot where you can put in, like say a screwdriver, or I'll probably have some plastic tool I can use to pop it off if need be. Pretty trick little piece. You can see here, I have these powder coated factory rings on it right now. Toyota put those in there to strengthen up the top of the shock tower there, so rip the metal out. So if someone wants to buy those, I'll probably put them up for sale here, as I no longer need them. This obviously went with this too, so sorry about that. I do love that Powerhouse Racing has its own little packaging now. I thought that was pretty trick. The last but not least is the actual fuel hanger here, guys. Now you can see here, it is a billet fuel hanger. It's made for triple pumps for the 450s. I'm gonna be using the Red Horse pumps. I'm gonna have to use a little bit of sleeving to make sure it fits in here nice and tight. It comes with all the bolts and hardware. It comes with brand new tubing. If we can see here, it comes with the crimp connectors. It comes with the little clamps and everything to put it on. It also comes with all the fittings and block off if needed. It comes with different barbs too. So they do include everything. All you have to do is literally wire it in. I do like, the biggest thing for me is, and this is the reason I choose this over the radium setup, is it uses this little mil-spec connector. The reason I like this better is it doesn't have these each little individual lugs. I hate that. It looks cheap and it's a pain in the ass. Where for this, I literally spin this little plastic nut off and I pull the connector out and I can pull the hanger out. Much easier to work with, just all around better design. All the mil-spec wiring is in here too. I believe they've even upgraded this now from even my hanger, just to make sure, because the newer pumps are taking more and more draw. I believe this is either 12 or 10 gauge wiring in here now. It's pretty heavy duty. I'll have to double check with Sam over at Powerhouse Racing, but they went through it. They've also color coded everything. So the wires here, you see these 3 small wires. Let me get them here. These 3 small wires go into your factory wiring, and it matches up color for color on the factory wiring. They do it to make it as easy as possible for you. I love that. This goes into your factory fuel hanger setup. The reason for this, or not fuel hanger, but for the factory wiring, the reason for this is I believe it goes into, if I have to look at my old video, which I'll link down below here, which is step by step, I believe it goes into the switch that tells you how much fuel you have left in the tank, and that's what these wires here for are. And then the other wires, obviously the black and the reds, there's 3 different ones there, go for the actual pumps itself, which you'll have to hardwire in. Again, let's go ahead and start putting some of this stuff together. The first thing I think we'll do is let's take a look at these shock tower tops and see how they fit on. So I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen because this is the first time I've ever had a set of coilovers that the top stem, or what you want to call it, where you can adjust it, sits this high. So this guy here sits extremely high compared to most other coilovers. So if you come over to mine, even with the adjustment knob permanently attached, you can see how low it is. This would easily, if you can see here, fit over top of that. Okay, but with this guy, and as high as these sit, when I go to put this on, let's sit here. maybe if I could see better, there we go. It looks like it's on, but it's not. It's teeter-tottering. So I'm trying to figure out what do I do from here? Do I cut this nut down? You can see there's a stem or a valve in there. So how do I cut it down? What do I do to get these to fit? Because it's close, but it needs a little bit more. If I cut off like 1/4 of an inch, this would work. I don't really want to do that either. So puts me in a bit of a predicament right now, how to get these to fit. This is the first time I've seen this. HKS coilovers, factory ones don't have this problem. So like if you would take off this factory little nipple here, you don't have to worry about it on the factory cars either. It's just the first time I've actually run into this issue. So I'll have to figure that one out. So we're gonna have to go ahead and move on, and let's go ahead and put the power steering pump fitting on. So for this little guy here, you're gonna just press this in first. You're gonna take the old one out. You can see here, it's hard to see because it's black, but it's double O-ringed. The original one they had was single, and mine did actually leak. So they actually sent out a new one for my personal car. So this time around, I made sure to get this one again. And you can see here, it has like this like little ring the whole way around the back of it. And then it comes with this bolt. And it's like a little weird clamp. You can see here it's grooved out. Now, here's the reason why. So if we take this, let's come over here, see if I can just press this in on the first try. See if it'll allow that to happen. Let's take this bolt out. That's a bolt I actually had from the past. Let's put that down on the ground. See if this just pops right in here for me. See if I'm lucky. And it does, slides right in. Now you can see here, it's in. Here's my AN fitting I need to tighten it up with. So I need to move it around. But this, all right, allows for infinite adjustment by having this little clamp here. This just clamps down to wherever you need it to be. So what I'll do, put it through like that, put your little bolt in, and then you put this down on top. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Screw, screw, screw. All right. Now you don't want to tighten it down yet. You're just going to put a little bit, but this allows you to move it around wherever you want. I would tighten up your AN fitting here. So put your dash 10 AN fitting on, see where it needs to be at, and then crank this down, and it keeps it from either hitting the manifold or whatever. This allows for someone like myself who has an aftermarket intake manifold, and each one's slightly different. The original one they had this severe angle on it, but even with that, didn't fit this and need just a little bit of a tweaking, and that's what this little fitting right here does. It has infinite tweaking. There's a pretty cool design from Brian Thompson and those guys over at Powerhouse Racing. Like this little piece, if we come over here to my car, you can see mine right there, and it's turned purple over time, just from all the heat it's seen. But you can see here, it's a nice little fit. You can see down in there. It fits in there perfect. So let's go ahead and tighten this one up, and then we'll move on to what's next. I guess the fuel hanger, because I already got these hoses on. The fuel hanger's next, and that's going to take a little bit of time. All right. So again, like I said, guys, I've got a full write-up on how to take out the pump and everything, or I should say write-up in a full video. If you want that, check down below. Just going to show you guys just a quick bit with this. So we've got the Powerhouse Racing hanger here, and we've got the factory one beside it. You'll need to take off this level here. That's one thing you'll have to undo, and it does have a spot for it on the factory, or on the Powerhouse Racing setup here. So you'll unbolt it, bolt it to this one. You'll have to cut the wires from this. You can unclip it up top here, but you have to cut these wires to then go, if you can see here, here, and here, into this. And again, it matches up with these colors. Now you'll see, you'll be like, Ryan, you're a liar. Well, this brown wire was once white, but from dirty fuel over the years turned the white wire brown. Same thing on my car and every other one I've seen. I'm going to be selling this fuel hanger then. So guys, if anyone wants it, let me know, hit me up. I have no use for it now. I know a lot of people use these to modify them. You can do so, but I just skip all that and just get a billet hanger and be done with all the headache, and it does everything I can need and then some. So if we go back to the back of the car here, you can see where I took the hanger out. I recommend getting this little Lyle tool too. This helps remove the little plastic lid. This is what holds the hanger in. I really should probably remove all this old fuel in here because it's been sitting in like this for a year and a half. Which my brother-in-law Joey is sitting here. Like, year and a half of old stanky fuel is not a good idea. No. No, I might have to siphon that out. Joey, you want to get a garden? I know you like to suck. Yeah, I know how you suck real well. Is that why I get that nice jawline? That's beer, not, you know. Yeah, come on now. All right, so we're going to have to go ahead and smack this thing out. So I'll show you guys putting the rest of the fuel hanger together, but just want to show you real quick that where you have to take it apart. And also have... I don't know why they put this on. Does it really help at all? I just can't imagine this doing shit. Like, literally doing anything at all. That's just me. All right. It's almost spicy. I'm about to do something I'm not looking forward to do. This gas has been bad. You want to hold this up here like that almost, just so when I start this. Fuck me. You ain't good enough? Oh my God, that's disgusting.
That's like the horrible alcohol you don't want to drink, boys and girls.
All right, well, you guys got the enjoyment of me for the first time, like trying to siphon gas by mouth. Fucking never doing it again. That was terrible. Advanced Auto had this little guy here. It's $8. It works, but it's a little bit of, make sure your level's right and getting it out, and then make sure it flows properly. It's not going to be the fastest way in the world, but this will work, especially for a hairy homeowner like myself. It'll do just fine. Yes, it is going into this because I'm letting it just dissipate because it feels junk. Might even use it like to help clean up some of the floor here. I know everyone's like, why would you use that? Well, gasoline is great for cleaning up like anything spilled on the floor. This makes brake cleaner look like nothing. So it's old 93, so I might use it to clean some of the floor, and then I'm just gonna let this sit outside and I'll let it dissipate. I'm surprised how much of it dissipated overnight, but within a week, that'll probably all be gone. The fuel just naturally dissipates, so you don't even have to dump it. So just doing that, and then I'm gonna start putting the hanger in. I just didn't want the hanger and the new pump sitting down in here. If you can see it's getting pretty low. But once it gets down to the bottom there, I'll show you guys. And then you can see the metal in there too. Can you guys see some of the metal and dirt? I'm gonna run a magnet through there and get all the metal out. And yeah. Watch me some TX2K here today. Again, guys, my videos are always sporadic because I just do this when I get time. I went ahead and put in a 3-pin Deutsch connector up here. These are your factory wires. These like trigger and stuff. I'm sorry, not trigger. This is for your fuel level sender, excuse me there. And then I wired in the pumps. Now, these Red Horse pumps have their own little connector at the bottom. I didn't realize, so it actually unclips from there, and that's where you put your new pump on that. So that's pretty cool. So what I did is just typical. I crimped it, and then once I crimped it, I then heat shrinked it, and this is a glued style heat shrink that I can put in the tank, and then I zip tie it together. Didn't need to do that, but just keeps it tight, and from, I don't know, so when I go to put it in the tank, it makes it a little bit tighter and easier for me. Now, I did leave 2 wires empty because I'm not going to do anything up here with them either, so I'm just going to leave them like that down below because there's no power to them and it doesn't really matter until I do need them, in case I do need a 3rd pump, and if I do, I'll tackle that when that time comes. So what I need to do next is drop this in. Now, getting this in, you kind of have to deal with this, like snake it in there. I'm going to try recording this, but you guys will see me try to fight with it a little bit. Okay, guys, so here's what it looks like trying it with it in. I wanted to apologize, I didn't record putting it in. I'm just going to tell you right off the top, like I said before, getting that floater in, you really need to take your time, and you're going to have to bend it, almost like cinch it up. Do not be scared. I know it's like, what the heck, this sucks, blah, blah, blah. There's just no really good way of getting it in. Unfortunately, just how it is. Another thing I wanted to show you too, again with the wires here, I'm going to flip this over here. I went ahead and pinned it. I used a Deutsch connector. This is a 3-pin Deutsch connector, and went ahead and pinned the 3 wires that you need to use. This is that actually gives you for your level float. I already did the actual plug on this too. I went ahead and put on a -10 straight fitting, and then a 90-degree fitting for the return. So that's a -8 straight, and then a -6 return. And then you have this here, which is your breather. I can smell nothing but fuel in here right now. On my old setup, they kind of changed the hanger here over the years. My old one had it kind of kinked, so I did put like a 45, but now with the way it's set up now, I can just run a straight fitting off of it, which I prefer using straight fittings. They're just simpler, cheaper, less chance of like, you know, with this, you know, it can flex like that. This can only go in one way. I always like, if I can use a straight fitting, that's what I prefer. Again, overthinking it, but I like that Powerhouse Racing is always improving, because this is absolutely different from mine, which I like. We're going to go ahead, and as you can see, that's in there. Then we'll have to put the ring on. I just want to finish up this video because I know this can get drawn out. Other thing we have to do here is, well, I've already done. This is the 3 wires here on this side. This is the male connector. And again, this is for the float switch. This will tell the factory gauges. Now, I already know what colors I need to work with here. 2 of the wires, the one of the red and black, I won't be using as we only have 2 pumps. But I went ahead and bought this DTP connectors. This does down to 10 gauge wiring. I also bought closed pin or closed barrel pins. Problem is, I don't have a crimper that I can use for this. Kind of sucks, I don't have a crimper. In the past, I had Jose Valle at Kaiser Motorsports sent me these Toyota connectors, but I wanted to go back to DTP or Deutsch connectors. I like the way these come on and off. I like the way they crimp. So I'm just gonna invest the money in a proper crimp tool, so I can do now anything up to 24 gauge down to 10 gauge. Well, actually the crimp tool will do down to 8 gauge, which is overkill. And I prefer anything where I can use these closed barrel. They're a lot easier to work with. You get a much cleaner crimp. It's just easier in general. So I could use an open barrel style, but I don't like those, and I just prefer closed barrel style. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to finish it off there. Here's the kind of tool I need to buy. The one I have currently, do I have it out or is it in here? Here's the one I have. This is the El Cheapo you can get off eBay or Amazon. You can see here does 12 to 20. And technically those pins are 12s, but this won't take it. It won't take them, so it needs to be a 10. So I'm gonna buy a proper tool. I need to invest in it anyways. We've got Coolant stuff strewn out here. We gotta stop it right there. You guys can't look at that. You've already seen it if you've seen Instagram. But I digress, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in today. We got mostly everything done that I wanted to do. Like I said, the car is looking fantastic. I took the intake manifold off and put it back on his car. You'll see why, because his car's coming along very nicely. The shock tops, we got everything else on for Powerhouse Racing. I can't thank them enough. They've been a huge support. Sam and Brian, Lance and those guys, just good people. I can't thank them enough. So thank you guys very much, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.